Recently, DJI introduced the Mavic 3 Pro. It's top-of-the-line drone aimed at professionals who want to take pro photos and pro videos for their pro content. This week, we were invited to try out this new Pro drone. And I have to say, I don't exactly have the best track record when it comes to drones. I mean, I once cut up my left arm when I was flying my DJI Phantom 3. Don't ask. Anyway, I haven't flown a drone in years, so I was pretty much a beginner. So imagine my surprise when I found out that not only could I easily fly the Mavic 3 Pro within minutes, but also shoot some really impressive footage. Now, what exactly makes the Mavic 3 Pro a Pro? Well, like most Pro phones, it's the cameras. There are 3 on this Mavic 3 Pro, the first in the world apparently. The thing that's new here is the medium telephoto camera that straddles the huge gap between the main camera and the full telephoto camera. It comes with a 70mm f2.8 lens, along with a 48MP 1/1.3" sensor. That's just as big as the main camera sensor on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, meaning that, in theory at least, it should deliver a good amount of detail and low noise. But the star of the Mavic 3 Pro, and indeed all other Mavic 3 models, is still the Hasselblad main camera. It's a 20MP 4/3 sensor, attached to a 24mm lens, and a variable aperture that adjusts from f2.8 to f11. If you want to get real close to your subject without, actually flying close, there's always the full telephoto camera with a 12MP 1/2" sensor. DJI has made some changes specifically for the Pro model. The lens is slightly longer at 166mm, and the aperture is also quite a bit bigger at f3.4 versus f4.4. This should bring in more light, thereby reducing noise. So those are a lot of numbers, but what does that all mean? Well, the most obvious difference is that you now get more focal length options when shooting photos and videos, changing the perspective of the subject you're shooting. The third camera also helps when manually zooming into a subject, whereas on the Mavic 3, it would stay on the main camera for a very long time before switching to the full telephoto camera. On the Pro, the steps are smaller, so the footage is less pixelated in between those steps. All 3 cameras can shoot 4K video at up to 60fps, with the main camera bumping the resolution up to 5.1K at up to 50fps. Slow motion video is also supported on the main camera at up to 120fps at 4K and up to 200fps at 1080p. The main and medium telephoto cameras can also shoot in the new 10-bit D-Log-M profile for maximum dynamic range. So, those are the cameras. But if you're like me and you're a complete idiot when it comes to flying drones, you want to know what technologies are going to save you from wrapping your 10,000 ringgit drone around a tree. Thankfully, the Mavic 3 Pro comes with all the same flying aids as the regular Mavic 3. You've got 8 cameras located on the front, back, bottom, and even the top of the drone, giving you omnidirectional obstacle sensing. These enable the company's 5th generation APAS system that goes beyond simply avoiding obstacles. It lets you plot waypoints for it to fly to, turn on cruise control, and even get it to fly back to you all by itself. Because the Pro is about 60 grams heavier than the standard Mavic 3, its maximum flight time is slightly shorter. Its 5000 mAh battery will only last up to 43 minutes instead of 46, which is still a really long time. And thanks to DJI's O3 Plus video transmission, the Mavic 3 Pro can be flown up to 15 kilometers away. Flying the drone itself takes some getting used to, but you get a hang of it. The left stick controls your point of view. Flick it up and down to pivot the camera up and down, and left and right to rotate the drone. On the other hand, the right stick moves the drone itself, making it go forwards and backwards and side to side. The thing you have to keep in mind is that you absolutely have to remember which stick does what, because unlike when you're controlling an RC car or playing a video game, pulling on the wrong stick can quite literally be catastrophic. You don't want to, say, accidentally make the drone pull to the left when you're in an enclosed space. Don't do that. Once you do get up into clear air, it's a lot less frightening to fly. The Mavic 3 Pro is incredibly stable, at least during the calm weather we were flying in, and it will faithfully follow every input. Before long, I was able to stop worrying about hitting anything and simply focus on getting great footage. And the footage is really good, with lots of detail and great colors. Although, straight out of the camera, you don't really see the benefits of the larger sensor. The shallower depth of field isn't visible from so far away, and due to the searingly bright sun during the day, the videos we shot wouldn't have looked all that different had we just used, say, a Mini 3 Pro. Really, you'll have to color grade the footage and start playing around with the highlights and shadows to notice the increased dynamic range. But the true advantage of the larger sensor would only be obvious in lower light, which we didn't get to try out. Hopefully, DJI will loan us the drone for a more extensive test. For videographers, the Mavic 3 Pro has a tool called Focus Track that lets you frame your shots around the subject without having to worry about flying the drone itself. There's also a Master Shots feature that will perform a series of pre-programmed moves while tracking a subject, and then it will automatically cut up and stitch the footage. You can also use Quick Shots to do each move individually. We were only able to try out Quick Shots, and they pretty much worked as you expect. You simply choose the maneuver you want the Mavic 3 Pro to make, select the subject by either tapping on it or drawing a box, and then it will just do its thing. The footage looks amazing. It's a great feature if you're a beginner who just wants to take cinematic shots without having to worry about actually flying the drone. The Mavic 3 Pro worked almost flawlessly throughout our very short time with it, but there was one instance where the remote lost connection with the drone and the video feed froze for a good few seconds. This happened even with the upgraded RC Pro controller, which is supposed to have greater signal coverage and lower latency compared to the regular DJI RC. Nothing bad happened, but it's not the most reassuring thing to see on, and this cannot be overstated here, a 10,000 ringgit drone. We also got to try the Mavic 3 Pro in FPV mode, which banks the drone automatically when turning. It's a cool effect, but the tilt is quite sudden, so you'll have to be really smooth in your inputs if you don't want to look like it's seesawing. It'll probably work better with DJI's FPV drones and the RC Motion 2 controller, support for which was added with the launch of the Mavic 3 Pro. That will let you truly fly in first-person mode. So, with the extra camera, how much more expensive is the Mavic 3 Pro over the standard Mavic 3? That's the thing, it's exactly the same price. In fact, DJI appears to be discontinuing the Mavic 3, leaving just the Pro model and the Classic with the single Hasselblad camera. That's not to say that it's cheap. It costs 9,799 ringgit. And if you add the Fly More pack with 2 extra batteries, a set of ND filters, and a few other accessories, that jumps to 12,399 ringgit. Adding the RC Pro controller on top of that costs an extra 2,600 ringgit. Then there's the Mavic 3 Cine, which adds ProRes support and a 1TB SSD. But that one is really expensive. With the Fly More combo and the RC Pro controller, it costs, are you sitting down? 21,999 ringgit. Oh dear God. As the name suggests, this one is really more suited to cinematographers who want the absolute best footage and who need the extra storage space. And I have to say, we could have used that 1TB of storage, as the regular Mavic 3 Pro ran out of space so fast that we couldn't try the Master Shots function. So there you have it, the Mavic 3 Pro. It takes stunning images and videos, and with the flying assist on, it's a whole lot less daunting to fly than its look suggests. But we barely scratched the surface of what it offers, and we're really itching to have another go. More than anything, I just want to fly again, and I never thought I'd say that. Thank you so much for watching our first impressions of the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. Would you like to see us do a full review of this thing? And what questions do you want us to answer? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and ring the notifications bell icon so you don't miss any of our future videos. As always, stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!